you guys doing? My name is Joseph Googie. I am one of the co-founders of Pre-PT Grind. If this is your first time ever seeing one of our live streams, both myself and Casey are the co-founders of this platform, and we just want to welcome you. We want to welcome you to this community, to this environment of other pre-PTs that are hungry and yearning for success in their application process, getting into PT school, absolutely crushing it, and so much more. Matt, how you doing? Tonight we have a very short live stream. Every single Thursday night, Casey and I come into this group live to do a pre-PT chat live. I think we've been doing them since 2017. I think the summer, like 2017 summer is how long we've been doing this, and it's been absolutely amazing. And so tonight's topic is one that really came from listening to some of our students last night, and we'll share that in the next few moments. And then when Casey hops on, we'll make sure that we take good care of y'all. But Sam, how are you doing? Madison, good to see you. F. Scott, good to see you. And for those of you that will be watching it live later and also on replay, thank you guys so much. Tonight's topic is, are you unintentionally suffocating yourself as a pre-PT? Let me let Casey on here as PT. Now, well, first of all, whatever comes to mind, what's up, Case? How you doing, man?
What's up? What's up?
When this topic is first addressed, the question you have to ask yourself is like, what does Joseph or Casey mean by suffocating myself as a pre-PT? Really, it came from last night. So last night was our final live training for this season of the accepted system. So everybody who's watching this on replay or live that is part of season 4, man, y'all were absolutely amazing. But what I started realizing was, Casey, is a lot of those students, we remember getting on phone calls with them. We remember speaking with them, honestly, 6 weeks ago, some 8 weeks ago, some 2.5 months ago. And the space that they were in mentally does not in any way match what they felt last night. The level of control in their own acceptance that they felt last night. The lack of feeling like they are a victim. That's what they felt last night. And as I was looking back, I was reflecting on the conversations we had, and I was like, yo, a lot of these students were suffocated. A lot of these students were suffocating, and they didn't even realize it. Now, how it was manifested was doubt. How it was manifested was stress. How it was manifested was anxiety. How it was manifested is so many different things, but the honest truth is they were in situations where they were suffocating themselves. Honestly, they were being suffocated by their surroundings. They were being suffocated by a lot of the negativity around them. I can tell y'all right now, I don't care how positive of a person you are. I don't really care how ambitious you are. If you are in an environment that is suffocating you because of the negativity and other people that are around you, yeah, Fred, like other people that are around you that are just draining that out of you, well, honestly, you can't really win. And if you get accepted into PT school, chances are you will not enjoy your career as a physical therapist. And the problem is, Casey, many times we associate what we're seeing. So we ask the students, we're like, yo, how many of y'all have seen other PTs that don't enjoy what they do anymore? And almost all of them were like, well, yeah. And for many pre-PTs, it confuses them. Because for a lot of pre-PTs, they start thinking, shoot, like, is that how I'm going to end up? Am I going to end up the same way? Am I also going to get to the point where I don't enjoy what I'm doing? What's up, Debbie? Am I also going to get to the point where I don't enjoy the career anymore? Am I going to choose PT? And it's scarier too because, Casey, we are investing so much time in trying to get into PT. Sam, I hear you, bro. Debbie, what's up? Like, secondly, we're investing so much money. Aya, how you doing? Money, like coin. So if I'm going to drop $100,000, if I'm going to drop $150,000 on school, what's the point if I'm going to hate it 2 years out of school? What's the point if I'm going to hate it 6 months out of school? What's the point if I'm going to end up like those negative PTs that I've observed? The ones that are telling me, man, yeah, PT's this, PT's that, we got it, we're in debt, we're this, we're that. Well, honestly, that's a negative environment, and that's an environment that is suffocating you.
For some of y'all, it's where you're observing. For some of you, it's who you're associating yourself with. Friends, classmates, family members, people who are suffocating you. If they are spending so much time like spreading their negativity, honestly, it doesn't even have to deal with what you're going through. It may be just them just venting to you how terrible life is. Just the outlook they have. It starts to bleed onto you. It's like a little leech. And you start to believe it as well. You start to doubt your why the heck are Casey and I super excited about being PTs? I actually had someone ask me that. They're like, yo, you and Casey and Greg Todd are the only ones that I ever see that are actually excited about what they do as physical therapists. Now, there's a lot of happy PTs out there. Don't get me wrong. But that also proves the point that there's a lot of negative PTs out there. And that is not a byproduct of the profession. That is not a byproduct of you becoming a PT. The things that y'all have fallen in love with in physical therapy, what's up, Ryan? What's up, Michael? The things that you've already fallen in love with in the profession of physical therapy are all great still. They've never been bad. The ability to deal with people face to face, if you want to do one-on-one, if you, whatever it is, all those things, Casey, have never changed. They haven't gone away. They were there before I chose to become a PT. They are still there now. What does change is the environment that people put themselves in. We put ourselves in environments that are drowning us. Like I asked one of my students right before this, I was like, yo, when you hear this title, what do you think of? And he was like, yo, I think of someone in a pool who is in 3 feet, like 3 feet deep pool, like the shallow end. And they're just keeping themselves under, not realizing that they could just stand up and breathe. Not realize that they could just stand up and actually get a breath of fresh air. And what happens is how we set things up, the way we choose our surroundings, the way we set things up, the fact that we're not willing to look for any kind of advice or guidance. Man, those 63 pre-PTs that are in the accepted system are on fire right now. But they're not on fire because of hype. They're on fire because they realized that they were in 3 feet of water the whole time. They realized that for the first doggone time as pre-PTs, they're standing up and the water is at their knees. And they feel like they're in absolute control of their own acceptance. You have the control. You got to choose it. Casey, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I'm hearing here, and especially when I think back to the calls that we got on, is that looking back now, is that I'm kind of realizing, whether I'm right or wrong, I'm kind of realizing that all the pushback that we got, all the objections, all the fears, all the concerns may have been in part because of us, but I think 85, 90% of that was most likely from you guys, and that doubt or that lack of self-belief in what you could do.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that was coming from you doubting the fact that you can bet on yourself and actually make it happen. Because we had the proof all along. You guys see the logos of the schools we got people into. You saw the testimonials. You see us all the time. You see our stuff. You see our results. Everything is there. You know we've done it. But I think that biggest thing, especially looking back now that you mentioned the calls and just thinking back to everything that I've heard over this time and seeing that transformation just from the last 6 to 7 weeks, like, man, that was in their own mind. That was in their own head. Like you said, they were suffocating themselves. And I forgot what Will Smith says is like your biggest joy is on the other side of fear when you jump out the plane or whatever. I think a lot of them were at that edge. And when they jumped out that plane, they finally felt that fear, like, I got this. I'm in control. Why was I doubting myself? I had everything there for me. I can do this. I can actually be a great physical therapist. I can enjoy my life and I can enjoy my job. I can make as much money. I can impact as many people as possible. I'm free. I can finally do it. But the whole time they were suffocating themselves just because that's what they thought had to go on, or that's all they knew, or they didn't know any different. But now just looking back, it's like, man, a lot of that was from them or from what's in your own head. And that's typical. It's nothing out of the norm. Everyone does it. But I think just going forward, what are you keeping yourself from? Are you keeping yourself from your own happiness, from your own joy, from your own career, from the best career that you can have in the future? Are you keeping yourself from that? just because, like Joseph said, who you're around or what you're saying to yourself in your own head, or a bunch of different things we can go down. But that's the biggest thing that really came to mind. Just thinking back is, man, they weren't really talking to me. They were talking to themselves.
Yep.
And they were just using me as a soundboard.
Yeah.
So if you guys can get over that, you guys can do anything that you want, meaning that you don't have to be like the people that you see in those observation hours or whatever setting that you're in that you don't want to be like. You have full control over that situation. So
Absolutely.
Don't let other people, and most importantly, don't let yourself talk you into a situation that you don't need to be in. You are your own worst enemy at a lot of times. So if you need to talk to us, and if you need to talk to us using us as a soundboard to talk to yourself, make it happen, and we'll show you the right path to get into PT school, because we've done it so many times. But let's stop doubting ourselves. Let's give ourselves some credit, and let's give ourselves some self-belief, because you can do it. You can be the best PT you can ever be if you just tell yourself that you can do it. So that's my 2 cents.
That's it. That's it. Go crush it. You guys have the ability to get in. And honestly, it's no longer just hype anymore. You can get in. Low GPA, you can get in. Are you willing to let yourself figure it out? Are you willing to let yourself jump? Are you willing to let yourself get some guidance? Because right now, I can tell you right now, non-traditional coaching is the way to get into PT school if you are struggling. There's really no other way. There's no other way that's going to get you to process things differently. There's no way that's going to give you the clarity step by step. And honestly, right now, the accepted system is the best thing out there. That's just a fact. So you just figure out what you want. Send us a message. Go to contactfreeptgrind.com. Season 4 winners, we're hella proud of you. The future Season 5 winners, we're waiting for you. Y'all have a good night. We'll talk.
Greg Todd, we'll see you there.
Hey, let's get it. Bye.